I have a lot of concerns with all things I've seen online.
Your relationship with Karini was toxic at best, Paul. You constantly accused her of cheating and even asked for a DNA test when she announced she was pregnant. Viewers aren't too surprised that your marriage hit a wall, and you definitely disrespected some of the many rules TLC asked you to follow. But according to you and many other participants, the show is known for bending the truth. But even then, we think we've seen enough to know that there was trouble in paradise from the get-go.
I just don't want to talk to anybody where it has intimacy involved. That's it.
Dozens of 90 Day Fiancé participants have struggled to follow the strict rules TLC set out for them, from filming schedules and on-screen appearances to criminal background checks and stress management. Keep watching to find out which rule proved to be the most challenging one to follow. If you agree to join the cast of 90 Day Fiancé, you have to welcome the camera crew with open arms. And let's face it, that's not always an easy thing to do. When Jesse Meester appeared on Kate Casey's podcast, he revealed that the camera crew follows the couples around for about 12 hours a day over the span of 2.5 months. But while some participants had little issues being filmed for hours on end, some couples just couldn't handle it. Some participants, like Larissa, were so annoyed with the lack of privacy that they often hid in the bathroom, going as far as to flush her wedding ring down the toilet to make a statement.
That was part of his love to her, and she flushed him down the toilet.
However, hiding from the cameras is against the rules. Obviously, everyone deserves a bathroom break or two, but disappearing in the heat of the moment just isn't an option. Participants can run if they don't mind being followed, but they certainly cannot hide. So what happens if a couple ends up fighting once the camera crew leaves for the day? Keep watching to find out.
You're not calling the cops, dude. Stop it.
This next rule might come as a surprise because it proves that 90 Day Fiancé is staged from the get-go. You know how the participants sometimes meet for the very first time at the airport? Well, this meeting is purely staged for our entertainment. As it turns out, couples cannot apply to star on the show if they have not met in person within the last 2 years. This is a prerequisite when it comes to applying for a K-1 visa. The US government cannot approve a couple's application if they've never met in person.
I'm sweating to death worrying about this visa now.
U.S. citizens need to supply proof that they've met their foreign partners face-to-face, or else they will not be granted access into the country. So to appear on the show, couples have to agree to pretend to meet for the first time in front of the cameras. Of course, this rule only applies to couples meeting on U.S. soil.
We've been waiting so long, and I'm just so happy he's here.
The K-1 visa process has been designed to help star-crossed lovers tie the knot and live together in their country of choice, but it's also been designed to prevent tricksters from entering the country. Some couples have found out the hard way that just because their K-1 visa had been approved does not mean that they will be granted access into the U.S. Before this can happen, each applicant must present themselves to their embassy and complete an in-depth interview. This interview helps officials wean out applicants with ulterior motives.
I don't want Louise to use this for a pathway to citizenship.
Once the interview has been completed, it is uploaded onto government sites. To help plead their case, couples can supply embassy workers with photos, plane tickets, messages, and notarized letters from family members swearing that their relationship is authentic. Interviewers can ask questions like, how much money do you make? What is your favorite thing about your partner? What will you do if your application gets denied? And when was the last time you saw your partner in person? Once they get the green light, couples then have to complete an in-depth interview with TLC, but more on that later.
A denial is always a possibility.
While some reality TV stars make a boatload of money for appearing on TV, this is not the case for the cast of 90 Day Fiancé. Even with the show's huge following, the US participants make peanuts despite airing their dirty laundry for all to see. What's worse is that foreigners never see any return, seeing as it's illegal for TLC to pay non-American residents. Before appearing on the show, TLC makes their payment plan very clear. US participants can make up to $1,000 per episode and up to $2,500 when they appear on the Tell All special.
Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After.
However, since some couples are more popular than others, it's normal for participants to ask for more money. Problem is, they have already signed a contract agreeing to TLC's terms, and more money just isn't an option. Some couples, like Angela and Michael, have appeared on more than one season, so TLC may offer them more money per episode, considering that they have a huge following. However, this money goes into Angela's bank account and not Michael's.
At least because I don't like depending on women.
Everyone wants to look like a good guy, but that's not what reality TV is all about. To keep things interesting, there needs to be a villain. But who would agree to come off as the bad guy? Well, the entire cast of 90 Day Fiancé would. Before the couples appear on the show, they sign a contract that stops them from suing TLC for altering footage and creating fake storylines. So they're well aware that they have to accept how they're portrayed on TV.
Her stories doesn't match up with reality. That is just the truth.
But it's all fun and games until participants come face to face with their TV counterparts. This was a big issue for Mark and Nikki Shoemaker, who attempted to sue TLC's parent company as well as their production company after they saw how they were portrayed on the show. Mark didn't like the fact that he came off as an insulting and controlling partner to Nikki. Problem was, they had signed a contract that protected TLC from getting sued for this exact reason. So their case was quickly thrown out.
I am sure that we're going to have issues.
90 Day Fiancé has a huge following of dedicated fans, and some of them happen to be seasoned trolls. They're quick to make assumptions, and they love to throw fuel on the fire, especially on social media. Participants have to grow a backbone if they aspire to star on the show, but this can be a hard thing to do when wanting to protect their images. As we all know, 90 Day Fiancé is notorious for bending the truth, but some fans do not know this. So they use social media to send spiteful messages to whoever comes off as a villain on the show.
It doesn't matter. You're a woman.
Fans were quick to attack Mike and Natalie's relationship online, telling them that they should call it quits and move on. These types of messages can seriously mess with the well-being of a couple, so they're instructed to grow a backbone and get over it. While some couples will go as far as to delete their social media accounts to escape the hate, doing this isn't always in their best interest. After all, posting about your relationship can help validate it, helping participants get their green card.
He has to bring all kinds of documents.
What are the advantages of appearing on 90 Day Fiancé, you ask? Well, that's a great question. When you find out the answer, let us know, because we aren't too sure ourselves. You would think that appearing on the show would greenlight a couple's K-1 visa process, but that isn't the case. As a matter of fact, couples are obligated to complete their own visa applications before starring on the show. At this point, the US government has already agreed to accept the immigration process as long as the couples get married before the 90 days are up.
Walking towards the altar is just a relief.
TLC takes no part in the rigorous application process, so the only advantages of appearing on the show revolve around media exposure and a low pay grade. The K-1 visa process can take months, if not years, to complete. It is for this reason that showrunners tend to poach participants by contacting immigration attorneys who can refer them couples who are nearing the end of the lengthy process.
Yeah, I love green card so much.
Earlier on, we mentioned that the camera crew follows the couples around for about 12 hours a day. But who's to say that things won't get hectic after the camera crew retires for the evening? Some couples keep their composure only to blow up once no one is watching, and the cameramen and producers can pick up on this the morning after. Participants are made to talk about their previous night together and disclose any fights or arguments.
I think that he was completely rude.
If the showrunners think that their fight would make for a good episode, they can ask the participants to reenact them. However, participants know all too well that these fights can be revised and scripted for dramatic effect. So when creating their contracts, TLC makes sure that participants are okay with scripted scenes.
You have to think about future.
Absolutely.
You don't have to talk about your past.
Getting married is a huge decision, but for some couples, it's their only choice. If they fail to get married, their non-US partners will get sent back home. It takes a lot of work to get a K-1 visa approved, so most of the time, the participants have already agreed to get married before the 90 days is up.
This is the beginning of the rest of our life.
Once they are legally married, a green card will be issued. However, this doesn't guarantee a non-US participant's stay in the country. The couple must remain married for at least 2 years before filing for divorce. Failing to do this can result in the non-US partner facing legal complications or deportation.
I gave up to almost everything in my country.
90 Day Fiancé might be a scripted show, but that doesn't mean that TLC aims to hire actors. If there's one thing they search for, it's authenticity. While conducting interviews, showrunners look for participants who have real-life problems and struggles. They also perform thorough background checks before accepting any candidates. Although it's an ugly truth, showrunners would rather cast couples who have conflicting morals, criminal backgrounds, and money issues.
If I can't provide, I'm worthless to you.
All this because it makes for better TV. TLC doesn't want to cast picture-perfect lovers. Instead, they aim to cast couples who come with extensive baggage. Most of the time, TLC knows about a participant's criminal history before they had time to come clean about it to their fiancé. If couples aren't authentic during the casting interviews, they won't make it onto the show.
I have reviewed your record.
And that's a wrap. Before you go, tell us which couple you're currently rooting for in the comments below. And be sure to tell us what you thought about these 10 strict rules while you're at it.
You have not been an active partner, spouse to me since we got married.
Give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching The Things. We'll see you soon.